Hi, welcome to The Good with Dr. Joe. I'm Laura, and here's Dr. Joe.
Hello, guys. Welcome to our podcast. It's The Good with Dr. Joe. And I tell you right now, it's live Eastern, that is Atlanta time. It's 9 a.m. Pacific, that's California, Los Angeles. And what's going on in London, England?
It's 5 p.m. happy hour.
5 p.m. London time, happy hour time. So I guess people are getting happy now in London because actually they are beginning to reduce the restrictions, So people are going out a little bit more because they're doing this year.
Back to normal life.
Back to normal life. They're doing their, what do you call it now? Vaccinations and stuff like that. So things are happening over there. But anyway, welcome to our podcast today. Now, we're going to be talking today mainly about the EIDL loan and the PPP program. That's what we're going to talk about. Today is dedicated to that. A lot of people have been asking questions, and we're trying to deal with the questions because a lot of people want to know how can they get some of this money, because it's like $1.9 trillion. It's a lot of money. But anyway, this is how to see us. This is how to catch us. We're on YouTube. Just hashtag The Good with Dr. Joe. We're on Instagram. We're on Apple.
Spotify.
We're on Spotify.
Google.
We're on Google. YouTube. We're where?
Everywhere.
That's where we are. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the stimulus package. The EIDL. EID actually stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. That's what that stands for. Economic Injury Disaster Loan. That's what that stands for. We're going to be talking about that today. And SBA, that is the Small Business Administration, are the one handling that. All right, so we're going to talk generally about it, and then we're going to go into specific things. All right, so you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. And you can find all of this information really on the SBA website.
And by the way, this is Laura. She's fresh hot all the way from Conyers, Georgia, where she has been hibernating.
All right, yes.
All right, go ahead.
Spring break. All right, so for the loans approved starting the week of April 6th, the 24 months of economic injury with a maximum loan amount of $500,000.
Okay, let's break that down. So this month, so that's about right now, the SBA came with an updated package.
Yesterday.
Yes, yesterday was when they started sending emails. They started sending emails out yesterday. So look in your email box.
Yeah.
Yesterday or today, you should be getting an email from the SBA to ask you to either file for increase or whatever. They're going to ask you whatever they ask you.
They're going to ask you to provide more details about how the business can request an increase.
Yes.
And then they're going to give you instructions to determine eligibility and submit documentation.
Yeah. So this is what happened. When they approved the loan initially last year, for whatever reason, the SBA capped it at $150K. So the SBA will not go over $150 for nobody. So we complained. I complained because, hey, we needed much more than that. A lot of businesses needed much more than that. Now, SBA said, well, we didn't have the money. Well, Congress said, no, we're going to give you money. Do it. So SBA eventually agreed to do it. Now they raised it to $500K per business. All right, let me explain something, though. The SBA, the Small Business Administration, keyword small, they're only dealing with small businesses. And right now, the definition of small businesses is a business that's employing 500 employees or less. Until last time, they adjusted it to 300.
Yeah, it was 304. I think now they expanded it to 500 or fewer employees are now eligible as a result of new authority granted by Congress. So
if you hire an employee from 0 to 500, then you're dealing with SBA. So if you have 501 employees, you are no longer a customer for SBA. So you go find your own. Go find your own. Okay, deal with the Congress or something. But anyway, that's where we are. So if you have 500 employees or less, then SBA is your customer. So all these packages is processed through SBA. Okay, go ahead.
I have the SBA is currently accepting new COVID EIDL applications from all qualified small businesses, including agricultural businesses and private nonprofit organizations.
Okay, just like I explained before, whether you are for profit or non-profit, as long as your employees are less than 500, you can go ahead and apply for this EIDL. Now, EIDL is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Yeah, they have the loan and then they have the advance.
Yeah, you have the grant. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the grant gives $10,000.
And that's you don't have to repay that.
Yes, $10,000 that you don't have to repay. So that $10,000 grant goes to every small business.
Yeah.
Independent contractor, sole proprietor, small business, corporations, LLC, whatever.
Well, first come, first serve.
As long as you have $500 or 500 employees or less, and just like she said, it's going to be first come, first serve.
Well, I know on the advance the funds have been fully allocated and are not currently available.
No.
But that's with the advance.
Yeah.
But the loans are still doing.
Now for the advanced, right now they are doing targeted advance. What that means is that there are some zip codes that.
For the low income.
Yes. By some magic formula, the SBA has decided that some zip codes are low income or economically deprived or economically, all kind of big words they use for that thing, you know. So they are giving those businesses priority. So that's what they call it, targeted, you know. So you're going to get an email, you know.
Yeah, direct email.
I got an email yesterday. I didn't realize that I was in economically deprived or whatever, you know, district. So I got the email. So I'm looking at the email like, what am I supposed to do with the email? It's a little bit confusing, you know.
They say anything about paying my college fees, my tuition?
Maybe, you know.
I have yet to hear any of that about it.
So it's a little bit confusing, but work with the SBA because they are dealing with a lot of people, okay, and they have new staff that they're trying to get these things to happen. Here's what you need to do about the grant. Make sure. I can tell you right now, 85% of deniers are due to very, very simple mistakes. Simple mistakes from either the applicant or the SBA data entry people themselves. Like for me, last year, my application was delayed almost 6 months. Why? Because the lady entering the information entered my last name as M-I-A. And my last name starts with I-M-A. So it took us 6 months to figure out what happened to my application. So because the information was wrong, it didn't match my bank information, it didn't match my corporate information.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go forward.
Yeah, like last night, or no, it was like 2 nights ago. I think it was on the IRS to find my payment tool, whatever it is. Okay, so I've changed my name with my social security for me, you know, for my maiden name or whatever. So I'm on there, and then it asked for me for my student loans account number, like, you know, just to verify my identity. And I guess I had put the wrong number, like, and it just was like, oh, I'm locked out for 24 hours. Try again. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
That is what she just said right here. 85% of the deniers is due to errors. And a lot of errors come from us. If it's supposed to be 7100 and you put 7011, that's it.
Yeah, make sure you're right.
They have a lot of applications they're working in. They're just going to put it aside. Like in my own case, I have to tell the lady, I said, lady, my name, you know, MIA stands for missing in action.
Yeah, MIA.
So I said, okay, MIA, that's not me. It's IMA. Amafida, you know. So she's arguing with me. I said, look, man, I don't drink. When I drink orange juice. Okay, I have been on this earth for over 50 years. I've never written my name starting with MIA. It's IMA. MIA is that's the wrong word to use anyway. You know, missing in action. And really, my file was MIA because the lady started my application with MIA. I said, wow, so eventually we fix it and eventually we're able to get the money. So you have to make sure that you spell your name correctly. You have to make sure you enter your information correctly. Otherwise,
just go over it, make sure you revise, edit, read over, and make sure when you're reading through the application and everything, read word for word and don't skip over anything.
If you wear glasses, wear your glasses. Put it on and make sure you see it, So don't just rush it and miss it. All right, so that's number one. So number two, you got to make sure your corporate information, that's your corporate name, your corporate address, matches the information with the IRS because they're going to double check with the IRS. Also make sure your information, your name as it appears on your corporate doc, also matches the information on your bank information. Because I know Bank of America will not accept the deposit or direct deposit if the name is not exactly the same.
Yeah, see, mine, Langhammer, my name growing up, I used to always get Longhammer or whatever, and I had to brought a check and it was written out with the Longhammer with an O, and they would not cash my check. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I have a bank account here.
I think Laura's case is very special. Laura's case is special because even I can't even understand which name to call you now. I just call you Laura. If you watch, I've never said your last name. You remember that I've never said your last name because I don't know what last name. Michelle. I just call Michelle. Okay. All right, that's good.
We've got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it too late to submit the PPP application?
No. The PPP, we're going to come to that, but let me answer that real question. It is not late to apply. Initially, the deadline was March 31st. It has now been extended to May 30. Is it May 30 or 31st?
May
31st. So it's now May 31st. So you have roughly about 50 days to do that, to file for your PPP. But the thing about PPP though, I want you to make sure that you are filing with information from 2019. I'm gonna give you guys, let me just give this story real quickly. In the Bible, there's a story of Ananias and Sapphira. Sapphira, right?
Sapphira, yeah.
And this is where the IRS got this, the operating procedures. They got it from this story in the Bible. The IRS, the audit, and all of that. They got it from here. So Ananias and Sapphira, they sold some properties, and like they do at that time, at some point they come to the church and donate part of their income to the community, for the community to use, So I think most churches take it as tithe, some offering and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That is actually where the IRS is also operating. Your income at the end of every year by April 15th, they expect you to pay some of that your income to the pot, to the big pot.
Speaking of, I need to do my taxes.
So
That's a week away.
So from that, I think they extended it. It's extended, yeah.
Oh.
So it's extended, yeah.
May 31st.
May 31st, yeah.
Did you do my taxes?
Yeah, well, come on, we're talking about that. This is on there. So right now.
Hey, that's a question.
So we put all those money in one pot called the treasury. So now if we need help, we go in there and take it. Like all this money they are giving now is coming from the treasury. So this came from all the money that we put in there. Okay, back to Ananias. So they came in and they said, they kept some of the money.
They sold their house.
They sold their house.
And
they kept some of the money. So they came over and they said, okay, this is what we made, and they submitted it. And guess what? An invisible
Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit.
Invisible auditor called the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Found out that that wasn't the whole thing.
Yeah, he said.
And they got punished dearly. So the same thing happens with the IRS. When you file your taxes, IRS expect that you speak the truth. And you submit it, so they take it as it is. Now, when the invisible auditor catches your file, and they review it, and they find out that it is wrong, how many of us know what happened to Wesleysnipes?
I don't know.
There's Wesleysnipes. There's a guy called The Situation from Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
They went to jail for that.
Oh, yeah.
So the IRS don't play. with that. So all these people who are trying to file for PPP and file for EIDL, you got to make sure you are presenting the right numbers. You got to make sure you are not inflating, you are not trying to defraud or whatever, because, hey, they will audit 1%. See, that's the thing. That's the leeway. They can't audit everybody. They're going to audit 1% of the total applications, and I have seen that they've been really getting a lot of people. So please, watch out for that. All right. So any other question? Did I answer that question? All right. So that's how that works. So your PPP is supposed to come from your 2019 income. And the way SBA came up with that was that, look, 2019 was the first full year. Yes. All right. So what did I say?
I don't know. What you said?
Yeah, present correct information. Yes. So present correct information or submit correct information.
Yeah, make sure your corporate information.
Now, present is kind of technical. So
did I spell that right?
That's not so present is kind of technical. Submit, is the word. So God present doesn't get you in trouble. Submitting is what gets you in trouble, because you can present your information to your accountant, and your accountant put it together and give it back to you to review before you submit. So once you submit it, then it's locked in. So that's good. That's good. So so for the EIDL, let's go back to the EIDL. So the EIDL is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and this loan is available for all businesses in America right now, especially if you suffered loss in 2020.
So EIDL is for all businesses, not just small?
For small businesses, $800, $800. The other businesses that are not small, they get theirs from the Congress. So the EIDL, you have the loan, and then you have the grant. So the loan gives you $10,000 if you have a business name. Doesn't matter whether you are registered or not. As long as you were operating before February 15th, 2020. So you must have been operating before then to qualify. All right. So you have a business name, you have a bank account, and you have an address that all of this matches. If you are a sole proprietor, it's okay to use your social security number. If you're not registered, so you just be a sole proprietor. That can work. If you're registered LLC or Inc., then your information must match, your bank information must match your tax filings. Now, if the IRS is not sure, if your name doesn't pop up, they're going to ask you to submit a tax document to confirm that your business existed before February 15th. So that's the trick, So if you're a corporation, you're probably looking for your 1120, If you are a sole proprietor, your 1040 or your Schedule C, they would need that to get that if you're getting the EIDL. So that's for the EIDL grant. And now for the EIDL loan, they may also need your profit and loss statement to determine how much you qualify for. Your profit and loss statement is essentially all the amount you brought in and all the expenses and what is left. So kind of just like a breakdown. But don't do it like Sapphira and Ananias. Don't do that. That's not good. All right. So to properly qualify you for the right amount of loan, you need your profit and loss statement, or you need your tax filing. By now, everybody have filed their taxes for 2019, or unless you have a problem.
Yeah,
2019.
All of it needs to match your most recent tax return, so that would have been from last year.
Yes, from 2019.
2019.
At least 2019 taxes should be filed by now. If you have not filed 2020.
Yeah.
2020 got extension, so there's extension. For the business, you have until August, but you have to file extension to get that. And then for personal 1040, you have up to May 31st to file that. So that is the EIDL side. So you have two grants and a loan. All right, now for the PPP side, you also have two ways to qualify. You can qualify as an employer. That means you have employees working for you and you are paying them salary or wages at the end of 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever, at the end of the month. You can qualify as an employer, or you can qualify as an independent contractor or sole proprietor, or what's the third one? Independent contractor, sole proprietor. There's one more, I can't remember now. All right, so you can qualify that. Okay. Now, to qualify as an employer, you need your Form W-3. You need your Form 940. You need your Form 941. So you put all that together, that's how they figure out what you qualify for. Now, if you're doing it as you are not employing anybody, you're an independent contractor, or you are a sole proprietor, then you need your Schedule C. About a couple of weeks ago, they changed the process a little bit so that the sole proprietor can get more money. So initially, they used the line 31 on your Schedule C to make a determination of how much you qualify for. But then that was your net income, so that was a lot for a lot of people. That was little or nothing after you take out your expenses. So now they're now using line number 7.
Now they're using line 7?
Yeah, line number 7. So it used to be line 31. So it's line number 7 to calculate what you qualify for on your PPP. All right, our time is gone. So any more questions? So if you have a question, it's 678-708-4567. 678-708-4567. We have time for one question before we go. All right, so Laura
has not the best.
Yeah, Laura has broken this down. Oh, that's the wrong. Please call 678. Okay, here's a call coming through. So yeah, that's the breakdown right there, of what we're doing. Let's take this call real quickly. Thank you for calling The Good with Dr. Joe. What can we do for you today?
Hi, Dr. Joe. I was just wondering, the qualifications for the loans. If I started let's say that I applied for my business license, I got everything all set up and everything, and then the COVID hit. So I wasn't able to open my doors. Am I able to apply for any of that money?
Thank you so much. You appreciate that call. So here's what the question is asking. She has everything set up.
With the business name, the
business name, the business account,
the address.
Wow, calls are coming through. So she had everything set up, but she was not able to open the door to start. So that's the question, right? Mm-hmm. So we didn't open it, but the business set up. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she would fall under the eligibility, only because you have to show your
Actually, she will.
Really?
Don't forget that she spent money on registry.
Yeah, I guess.
She spent money on maybe renting the suite, maybe in all of that.
And the pandemic wasn't her.
Yeah. So she actually spent money doing all that. And it could be that she had already started getting business or not.
Online or something.
Yeah, online is not relevant. But the fact that she existed before February 15th, she gets the grant.
Okay.
So she gets the $10,000 grant as long as she was set up. Yeah, she gets that grant before February 15th of 2020. So she gets the grant. Now she can also apply for the loan. Now the loan might be a little tricky. They may ask, okay, how do we know? Then she has to now prove that, look, I set up, here's my projections. So in this case, instead of profit and loss, they were asking for your projections. Mm-hmm. So if you submit your projection, they can say, okay, well, with your projection, you could have made this, that. It wasn't your fault that we have to shut down. And then based on your projections, they can consider you for a loan. But the grant, that's there. All right, so I think our time is gone, right?
I don't think so.
All right, time is gone. I think we had a lot of fun today. So we discuss all kinds of stuff. So go to our Instagram.
Google.
All right.
Google, Instagram, Spotify,
and
Apple,
YouTube.
Apple too.
YouTube. The Good with Dr. Joe. Hashtag The Good with Dr. Joe on YouTube. See you there. And please subscribe, like our videos, put a comment there, and then we'll get you more. Any last words from you?
No, catch you next week. And
Hasta la vista. Is that it?
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista. See you next time.